Hello, 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 Libra. Hello, 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 Libra. We are coming to the Libra time. Libra time. This is Libra time. The new moon in Aries. New moon in Aries, the 5th of April, and I'll be reading for this first half of April for you. Now, to start this reading, I'm going to pull a card from my collection of fine arts paintings. Then I will spread a flower spread. I'll create a flower spread, and the petals of the flower is this fire tarot. This fire tarot, because it's Aries after all, the Aries moon, the new moon. And then, of course, I'll have my Vera Sibilla cards here, and the runes. I'll cast the runes as to crown the reading. So let's get started. 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 For Libra, what is going on for the month of April, the first half, the new moon in Aries? Libra, first half of the month, new moon in Aries. Let's take a look. Oh. This is the wedding, the Giovanni Arnolfini wedding and his wife. You can see clearly that she is pregnant there, and this is aristocracy. This is a sort of a big message on the way that reality shows itself and is represented in other times. But I'll give you more on that later. Now, let's take the tarot and adorn the flower. Ladies and gentlemen, come one, come all. You can get to the front seats. There's no extra price. Same price. Staying in, going out. Welcome, welcome. Come one, come all. Libra. Libra, let's see the petals of your flower. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And first, let me lay the Vera Sibilla leaves in between these petals, and then I'll show you all those tarot first. So the focus is on this, say, this period nouveau riche that is contradictory. It's making a statement. It's a facade, okay? The idea is a facade. That behind the facade, there are many, many difficulties. So we're talking about a theme that is a front. There's a facade there. All right, let's say hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We've got some story here. All right, so let's start with the first tarot card and then go around the flower. This is the Judgment card. Look at that. Look at that. This is the Judgment card. Then we've got the 5 of Swords, a message that really pierces through your gut here. And then we've got the 3 of Coins. 3 of Coins. Finally, we needed something like that. Then we have the 2 of Wands. The 2 of Wands. And then we've got the King of Cups, Libra, the King of Cups. We've got a mixture here, and the interesting and the curious and the critical nature of these cards really paint a story to you. There are mountain peaks, okay? A Libra here, I'm seeing mountain peaks, very, very sharp. Very sharp, you're sharp-witted this period. You are keen. You know yourself inside out. You know your weaknesses, you know your strengths, and you don't need anyone else to tell you what you're like. You don't need people to show you. You don't need them to put up a mirror. You don't need anyone else to say, look, Libra, you should. No. You know yourself, and you are very at peace with yourself. And the issue here with these cards is that, first of all, there is a very, very, very important, a very, very fundamental, from the bottom of the deck. I'm going to take this card over the Judgment, and this is the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles. There's a fundamental moment at the beginning of the month of April for you, Libra, that you're brought up face to face to your life as if you're seeing it in review. You're looking at it in review. Something occurs to you in your mind. It's not, there's no particular craziness, accident, or nothing. But there is a moment of illumination, and it happens very early on, where you think, is this all there is? Or is that all there is, really? Is it only here? There's got to be more than arguing with my companion, than paying my bills. There's got to be more than going to the supermarket every other day. There's got to be more about worrying what I put on the table. There's got to be more than studying for my license or studying for that national test in order for me to, there's got to be more. Because once I am successful, once I've studied, once I've passed that test, once I've got the job, and once I win that money, there's got to be something more. All right, and this starts a series of not only thoughts, but steps that you start to take. Steps that you start to take that, like I said, your life is being seen in review. And with that comes along the good and the bad. And the bad has to do with the many regrets that you have, the many regrets that you can remember, things that you have done, that if had you had the opportunity, if you were given now the opportunity, what would I do differently? I would change some things. There are some things that you really would change. And that's one of the first thoughts that enters your mind in that beginning of the month. Now, of course, when this process begins, when you start to, say, come out of yourself and review yourself, of course, what happens is that not only are there regrets, there are all those positive sides and all those beautiful single days that you could have remembered. You remember that you were so happy and you made someone else so happy. It was sort of the epitome of happiness, and you remember those. And so you very quickly, in the span of these 2 weeks, it's a very short time, 2 weeks, you have, of course, it's relative. You have this opportunity to, I'm calling it an opportunity. Many of you might experience it as a true challenge, or as almost as punishment, because you're looking as if in a realistic painting, realism, stark realism, where you remember and look and see. And so it's sort of the movie, The Ghost of, Ebenezer Scrooge, when the ghost of Christmas past comes and shows him all of the things that he's done and how evil he was, And I'm seeing this in this light. You're looking at your life in review, the positive and the negative. And you come across these positive moments, and it was all about joy. It was all about love. It was all about sharing. It was all about togetherness. It was all about being one. Now, of course, this also changes. And so it's a ball that turns. And every turn, there's a new phase. There's a new season. And I have here also what you look in review are the relationships that you've had, the pairing with this person, and then with that person, and then with that person, and then with that person. So you look at all of them, and you see what was the key element in those relationships? What was the key that made it possible for you to both stay together and to grow apart? And you almost study it. You remember it and you start to study it. And because it's something that you would like to take with you in the future, for you then to help you never to be wise. You're taking your experience with you, you would like, and then having it make you wise. But it's not as easy as that. Wisdom just doesn't come, wisdom is not bestowed all of a sudden. We have all of these seasons that have to be gone through, and the experiences and the wrinkles and the scars, they teach us things. Now there's another petal on the flower here is this King of Cups, And here we're getting towards that wisdom here. I remember it's a 2-week period. It's very, very short, relatively short. But here we come out as a spiritual otherness. You have changed. This is a cycle. The English would call it a fortnight, the 2 weeks. This is a period where you are growing immensely. There's immense spiritual growth, Libra. Remember, the focus was on the facade. And during these 2 weeks, indeed, in order, your Libra, it's not, you don't want to share the inner growth and the experiences that you are having in these 2 weeks. It's very personal, and you're going to have difficulty if there are loved ones near you that you don't want to share it with. So just bear that in mind. But it's a very personal growth. And it's about the facade in when does it come down? When does it come up? Does it ever come off? Do we always have a facade? Is every moment of our life a role where we keep that mask on? Am I, you ask yourself, do I ever take it off? Do I ever take it off to myself? And so there is, it's a reckoning. I'll call it a reckoning. I did call it a rite of passage. There are many words that we can use to describe something like this, Libra. But fundamentally speaking, the idea here is the tremendous spiritual growth that you're going through in the first 2 weeks. And it's enhanced by this new moon period. Now let's get to the details. We have nemico, the male enemy, and then we have gifts. Now, these two together, very similar to many other signs that I was reading for, we have this positive, negative, positive, negative. And here I see that it is something, it is a gift that's being brought away from you. And it's a gift of innocence, right? The gift of innocence that is being taken from you, because spiritual growth entails you to run the gamut of experiences and knowing that we are not only of flesh and blood. We are not only of flesh and blood. And this makes it possible for you to, clean those eyes, those eyes of innocence that children are characterized by. But this is a different innocence that we're talking about. This is sort of the J.D. Salinger Catcher in the Rye innocence that you're leaving behind. Because spiritual maturity comes to you once you can put down all of your weapons. So you're going through sort of different dimensions in these first 2 weeks. It will look like a long movie. It will feel like a long movie for you, Libra. Now the next two leaves are pensiero, thought, and bambino, child. And what did I say? You were leaving behind your innocence, but this is characterizing that journey that you're taking. This is it's a 2-week soul journey. Obviously, it's not just 2 weeks, and it is relative. It has been going on, but it's reaching a peak in this period of time. Now I have more leaves around the flower here. This is speranza, hope, and disgrazia, disgrace, the house on fire. Now this, here too, there's this dichotomy. And what I'm seeing here for you, Libra, is that there's almost a fear that if you cross the filter, if you cross one part of an existence, you're afraid that you will never come back to the mundane, to the bills, and to the, let's go have an ice cream, You're afraid. And so there's this, and I've seen this in other readings as well. It's almost as if you don't trust. You're not trusting the universe to have your back. And so this is something you have to learn to do. And sure, life wouldn't be called life if you didn't have moments like that. And one makes you understand the value of another. I'm going to show you the other two cards. Another two cards. Here is La Riunione, meeting, and Gran Consolazione. Here we have it, and we've got it between the two tarot cards of the Two of Wands and the King of Cups. Now, what is the Two of Wands in this position now? The Two of Wands is a meeting of the minds. The Two of Wands is an antagonistic energy that inspires growth, that motivates growth. And the King's energy, this King of Cups energy, is purity, love, emotional tenderness. And it is not, all right, it is not the facade. We're going around the petals. We're almost at the end. And we're seeing a coming together here. And it's in the 2 weeks, I don't see, Libra, that you are going to completely reach spiritual maturity. We never do until the end of our lives, perhaps. But what I'm seeing here is at a phase that is so heightened as compared to recent spiritual work that you have done on yourself, that there is an openness to others that is quite different compared to other months. And it's beautiful to see. Now, the last two cards that we have here are the Messaggero, the messenger, and the Gelosia, jealousy. And jealousy is never only jealousy. It also talks about sadness. And I'm talking about, and I'm looking at communication that in the form of spiritual messages and spiritual growth that is not always easy. It's not always easy because it's an awakening. And when an awakening means that you understand certain occurrences that took place and that at the time were not clear to you, but then when you review them, then you feel the pain. And this is what I'm seeing. So there's there is power in pain. There's sweetness and bitterness. There is the joy of growth and the sadness of leaving something behind. And the journey is going to be so sweet in this 2 week period, Libra, that enjoy the ride, enjoy that journey, because it is not, remember, the objective goal that we're interested in. It is the journey. We're here for the ride. And the experiences that you're having, these emotions that you're going through, especially in this 2 weeks period, can be attributed to your maturity in your spiritual growth, heightens spiritual growth. Let me take the runes for you and see what they have, because the runes are really, really clear and when they put the final dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And here we have, I didn't even turn over all of the runes, and I've got these, I know what they're saying here. I've got here Hagal, Hagalas, and that talks of this spiritual work that is going to be taking place in these first 2 weeks of April. It also talks of joy, ladies and gentlemen, Libra. It talks of joy in the journey, joy in your journey. Lagos talks about such fluid passage of spiritual growth, very, very easy maturity that comes to you. Keenat's bright state, ladies and gentlemen, talks of your antenna being wide open and receptive to things around you. You're very, very awake. And need here, the rune called need, also does mention together with Hagal, that there is an area that you have not reviewed in your, I keep going like this because the stomach and the belly is all about our emotions. And there's a part of your emotional life that you have difficulty revisiting. And that is what this rune need tells you. You'll go there, and it's important that you go there. And what do we have? We've got Gifo. It's come out for so many of the readings. Gifo is a gift. Gifo is an exchange. And this is you giving yourself an exchange. This is you giving yourself gifts, the gift of spirituality, the gift of heightened spirituality, the gift of growth. Ladies and gentlemen, Libra friend, very beautiful reading. I loved it. I love it. I love it. I do hope this was of help to you, Libra. Like and share my videos if you enjoy them, and subscribe. The woman would be so happy. Bye-bye. Until we read together again, Libra. Until we read together again.